Hello and welcome to the final Romford Raiders pre-game show, live and free on YouTube as we get ready for the swan song for the Raiders, essentially. Alongside Brody Martin, as you can see,
who I've just ducked on the screen now.
Just under 45 minutes, 44 minutes, whatever, so until face-off, as we get you ready for a game that has unfortunately become essentially dead rubber. There's nothing left to play for in Group B for the playoff hunt, but as I said, it is a swan song for the Raiders. They look to finish the season in style with a win on home ice in front of the crowd, and also just something, well, I guess a little bit of pride in beating the Wildcats, who have so far gone perfect in the playoffs.
Yeah. Last night was a bit of a shit one. Oh, that was a swarm there. Sorry. Apologies to everyone at home.
Come on now, we've been here all season, Brody.
Yeah, we've been here all season, and it was a bit of an awful one.
Well, you got, look, Wildcats have come in. They're on form. We'll run through some of that in a little bit in terms of statistics. But the Wildcats have come in, and they are probably the informed team in the playoffs so far. They're coming into the playoffs. They proved it in the playoffs, and they will certainly be one to watch next week in Coventry.
Yeah, definitely. I think they've had a season like no other. I think all of them. I think they've put everything out on the line, and I think they deserve. I think I'll be rooting for them when they go to Coventry, because I think they 100% deserve it after the season they've had.
Well, it's 3 teams have already booked their slot in Coventry. There is still one more space up for grabs. That's action over in Group A this evening, and that is basically one more spot up for grabs, and it will either be the Peterborough Phantoms or the Hull Seahawks making it through. They're not playing each other, so they'll have to win their respective games and see what happens. The Phantoms have to play the Leeds Knights.
If only the league had made the fixtures just like line up perfectly.
Well, you can't predict, can you?
Oh, use a computer if you want to. Well, I mean, do you want me to make my reference now to what I was going to say? Because today is the day that obviously we're here in Romford. We're here to play Swindon for our final home game, and Mr. Rory McIlroy over in Augusta is looking for a Grand Slam on the course. Final day of the Masters is live on Sky Sports. They go a little bit of promotion.
Don't go and tune over to that.
Yeah,
Stick with us.
100% go over and tune over to that. I'm sure we'll
behave yourself.
I'm sure our friends over at Sky Sports, which we don't know at all. Surely Barry, that works in the IT department, will be very happy. But no, yeah, Rory McIlroy's over to do to try and win a Grand Slam, and let's hope we'll give you a few updates. I will, at least myself, on how he's doing. Well, it doesn't start for a while because obviously time difference.
Well, we know there's a few keen golfers in the Raiders camp, but they're not quite ready to head to the course yet. We still have tonight's game. And as I said, the Raiders are looking to finish, and what will be a very impressive record in the end when you look at it, with 3 wins and overtimes and 2 losses. If they do win tonight, they'll have 7 points. In previous seasons, that would have been enough to probably qualify. Yes. Just as the nature of the way this group's worked out, and unfortunately, you have to say, not helped by Sheffield not really competing in the group and it being a 3-horse race. I don't want to sound disrespectful, but when you've got a team that doesn't pick up any points, there's nobody really in the group that's helped the Raiders. Because if you think about the thing, Wildcats and the Lightning were favourites, and you kind of need a little bit of spanner thrown into the works. The Steel Dogs haven't provided that. The Raiders will rue missed opportunities for sure. Yeah. But they'll look to take this one tonight, as I say, on home ice. Some strong performances recently. Decent last week against Sheffield, it has to be said. Competed against Milton Keynes, and they were in the game last night. Just one period, that second period, just proved to be the period that the Wildcats got away.
You can slag off Sheffield if you want. At least
no disrespect. There's no disrespect. Well, there you go. Yeah, 40 minutes until face-off. We're going to run through a few stats and other bits you need to know. The teams are just about to head out to warm up, and we'll show you some of those as we focus in on some guys.
Yes, we've got our graphics for the one to watch today.
Yeah, we'll come to that momentarily. Just a reminder, if you are planning on watching a game, why not? Last one before the summer break. Then check out the description below and you'll be able to purchase your stream pass over on Ticket Code. Just a reminder that we are not live on YouTube tonight. Although we could have, couldn't we? We could have done one. We could have done one, but
we could have, but we're not nice.
It's not down to us, unfortunately.
No, if we wanted to get shouted at, I probably told off many times.
We would like to have our jobs back next year.
Oh, 100%. Yeah.
But no, you will have to head over to Ticket Co. Purchase your stream pass. We'll be heading live over there as soon as our pre-game show's finished, where I'll be joined on commentary this evening by
me.
Mr. Jack McCarthy. He's joined us a few times this season. He's almost become a
regular.
Well, he was there.
We had that one game.
I think there's a very good chance. We were very close at the start of the calendar year to put him in a Raiders jersey and transfer an allegiance, but no, he stayed loyal to the Wildcats.
I remember when him and his good podcast buddy Dan, our only commentators for one of the games.
I wasn't aware. Well, that was a Bees game back in December.
Oh, that was when I was away as well. I was in
they come in and covered for us. So I've done 3 games, I think, with Jack on comms, or at least a couple. So great to have. Looking forward to having him with us tonight as we call you through this game. So.
What's he got planned?
Players aren't overly keen tonight. It's unusual, isn't it? I mean, the bus is normally gone. At 25-2, normally players are out on the ice. Oh, there they go. They're coming out now.
Effective with it, I think, after last night, the team have got 2 options as far as I see it. Come out and just play hockey the way you want to play hockey. Might not take it too seriously. Or go out there and just absolutely batter everyone, but I don't think that's the option they're going to take, personally.
No, I don't think.
But that is the 2 options I see that they have.
I would be surprised, certainly if they don't want to win. The Wildcats are here. I was talking to Jack. He might join us before the end of this pre-game briefly, but pre-game show briefly. Yeah. But he was saying he was quite surprised that the Wildcats, from what we understand with the lineups, aren't resting anybody tonight. They're going pretty mean. The only thing that we need to let you know is a change is that Rennie Moore will not start between the pipes tonight.
Yeah.
So what should I do? How have you got the ones to watch set up? Are they on the same graphic?
No, they are.
Or is there an injury?
No, you'll see.
No, I'm just wondering if our choices are on one graphic with the 2 players. Otherwise, we'll do the lineup and then go to the Wildcats.
Would you like to do the lineup and then go to the one to watch?
Yeah.
How about we do that?
That's what I think we do.
I know, but they're both on the same graphic.
That's what I was asking you. Come on.
We'll do the ones to watch first. People, here we go.
Prepared. It's the end of the season. It's been a long season.
Let's go with Matt.
It's been a long season. Let's do the ones to watch and we'll talk about
we'll take away this clock just so
whack the lineups up and then we'll talk about the ones to watch.
We'll do the ones to watch. Come on, we'll do the ones to watch. These are yours.
That's my pick.
It's yours pick. By the way, the photos for Swindon are a little bit difficult to source.
Right.
In the sense that, well, being honest, they have not got like us. You see, we've got proper green screen photos.
17 at Sainsbury's. That's where the source is.
Pardon? What did you say? I didn't hear it.
Don't worry about it. Moving on.
Let me go grab the food. You talk about your ones to watch.
Food? Come on.
Yeah, it's just down there.
Oh, go on then. Right, so one to watch then. My picks for this evening. I think Brody's taken the obvious choices. You'll see them momentarily. But my picks are gone with the ones that certainly have a big impact. Brandon Aliff has been an ever-present part of the Raiders organisation, always causes problems. He hasn't, didn't really struggle to score points at the start of the playoffs, but coming big last weekend, generated himself a couple of points, or a 3-point night, got a goal as well. So, been instrumental in that performance against the Sheffield Steel Dogs. You see his points tally there.
Oh, right. Do you want me to explain the thing in the graphics?
Go on in.
Playoff points. It's their total number of playoff points is in the brackets, and then their league
playoff points in the bracket. Well, there we go. So
their league points are out of it. I don't think they would have scored 72 points in 6 games.
No, I wasn't suggesting that.
No, it's just that's what it is.
Well, so there you go. He's got 3 points. All 3 of those came last week against the Steel Dogs here at the Sapphire. But he's in every play. He's on that top line as well tonight. We'll give you the lineups momentarily, and that's where it really we really see the best of Brandon Aliff. But he's a versatile player that can play all across all the lines. Normally plays a third line role, but he's got another centre first line opportunity tonight. And we'll see what he can do. Glenn Billing, on the other hand, Romford. Born and bred, part of Romford Juniors many years ago. He moved on to Pastures New when the rink closed down and then come back. He spent a lot of years with the Peterborough Phantoms, and then more than recently he joined over to the Wildcats and has been a big part of that. We talk about the Wildcats, Brody. One thing I'm always impressed with is how they always seem to maintain a consistent squad. They don't really have much in the way of player turnover. They don't seem to make many new signings. When they do make new signings, they're big signings. And Glenn Billings one last year was a huge signing.
Well, it seems to work for them, doesn't it? Seems to work. They seem to perform. So, yeah. Would you do mine? Would you like to do mine or not?
Yeah, go on for yours then. Because I said these are the probably...
go on, man.
Go on then. These are probably the main choices. These are the likely candidates.
I did tell you this, didn't I? Here we go. Handles on the other side, Matt.
Yeah, that's fine. Go on, carry on.
So, I've gone for the 2, I think, what I would class them as the most obvious picks for my final picks of 2024/25 season. Sean Miller and Jake Bricknell. I've chosen them just because they are our most standout players, or the most standout players out there, sorry. Sean Miller was obviously known for being top of the well, near the top of the points at the start of the season, just behind Sobchak for Hull. Obviously, recently slightly scoring less, but still has been there for points, there when you need him. So, yeah, I think he's our most obvious pick. Obviously, everyone knows the name Sean Miller now. And then Jake Bricknell, fellow Canadian, and is, I think, just one of the standout players. 107 points in the league, 9 points in playoffs. Both got 9 points in playoffs. I'll give you a fun fact here. When I was making this graphic, originally they were both on 7. They both had the same.
So they matched each other last night.
They matched each other last night. So they're always on each other's tails. So yeah, you got the camera work thing that way.
It doesn't seem to want to. It's all right. I'll get the hang of it. Doesn't seem to want to move freely, but we'll give it a go.
Well, we'll go back to what Mr. Matthew Dowd is doing at the minute.
Go through the lineups. Why not?
Go on, right. So we've got a. You zoomed on there. You're looking at the Macca's boys, are you? Yeah, the Macca's boys are here tonight, if you didn't know. There you go. There you go. Dan and Charlie.
I'm hoping he'll give me some amazing TikTok deals.
On the live pre-show, everyone. Got them two over there.
Yeah, I'm just zooming in on the team as they're warming up in a moment.
We'll do a lineup. Hang on, let me just do a bit of my magic. You just keep talking, Matt. Keep going. What do you want to say? Do you want to say? Let's give everyone a song. There you go. Go on.
What are you doing?
Go on, give them a song.
Why are you putting a song on?
No, we're not putting a song on. I'm just saying you got to sing them a song. I'm just changing our logo for today. It might come up now, people. It has, yeah. Ignore this bit. It's just changing it for the game because we don't need it anymore.
You're doing lineups, Brody.
Yeah, I know. Lineups, right.
I know this is the last one. I know we're all,
2 minutes.
Just winging it a little bit.
Well, there's the Raiders lineup. So, Ethan James still out due to injury. he's been replaced by Dylan Phillips tonight, who will be our backup goalie, putting Iron into the final game of the year. He's played all of our playoff games so far. Then you got the obvious, you got that kind of same defence that you've had for a while. Jack Cooper, Thomas Ralph, Sean Barry, Elliot Dewey. Megas Canis coming in from as one of our Bucks two-ways. And Tyler Nixon, number 3. And then same first line, which I think we've had for quite a while now.
Yeah, we've run most of it through the playoffs, I'd say.
Of Aliff, Miller and Schufelt. And then Jake, Morrison, TJ. And then changes slowly under here. So you've got Thomas Palmer, George Norcliffe, and then you've got Tommy Huggett up there tonight. And then Bradley Taylor's been listed as a forward tonight, which obviously he usually takes up the defensive role in Bucks, but forward today. Number 9, Artons Kazaks, again from the Bucks. And number 18, Luca Pascal. And the only thing I can say about Luca Pascal, he is the brother of Marco Pascal. There you go. Yeah,
obviously with the Buccaneers and the South One season now officially concluded, they've been available. They were knocked out a couple of weeks ago. Should to say a massive congratulations to Seb and Christian Moore, who have been part of the Raiders lineup this season. Part of the Slough Jets, who went on to win the league and win last night, and a very late night. That went on forever, that one, yeah.
What is it? Did they win the actual whole playoff?
It's a playoff fight, I think, yeah. So they beat Streatham in the final. I think they play a North and South One game today or something like that. I don't know if that's already happened. But,
so,
we're only focusing on this game. Go to Wildcats.
You can go through this one, go on. Get your reading glasses on.
So the main thing is we're talking about the netminder is Tyler Perry starts in the goal tonight. No Rennie Marr, so that's the only real switch, just giving some ice time with Rennie Marr, who's played most of it and will obviously be a key part next weekend. Ryan Wells and Sam Godfrey, you got down as your first defensive pair in Edgar Beveris, Tyler Blues second. The pair, Jamie Smith and Ed Bradley made up the third pair. Obviously Ryan Wells, I think, has as a defensive, as a D-man, you a lot of the time you do go under the radar. And
not the brother of Callum Wells.
No, of course, no, absolutely not. You do go under the radar, I think, sometimes. I think you cannot be understated the impact Ryan Wells has done. You talk to Jack anyway, and he thinks he's been a big part of the Wildcats' successes and good runs this season. Because the Nell and Malazinski take the first forward line, you got Chris Jones getting Glenn Billy, my one to watch as a centre on his second one with Jake Bricknell, who I don't know if you mentioned it, said it was your one to watch, but he was the league's leading scorer in the regular season with 57 goals. Vanya Antonov, who joined the Wildcats late from the Bees, he's a third line with Sam Bullis and Reed Sayers, while still in Lipsy, Luke Johnson and Josh Shaw take up the fourth defensive line. So a full roster for the Wildcats. As I say, they're not taking any chance, they're not resting anybody. They want to keep their momentum going. They're going to want to take 6 from 6 in the playoffs and set themselves up.
Well, that's one thing we can try and do tonight. We can try and...
As I say, that's like the Raiders going to play for. Not sure how much of a crowd we're going to get in tonight, but
a lot of Swindon fans so far. If you can go over to them, hang on, get a little zoom in on the old Swindon fans. Quite a few here. Obviously, if you're in the corner as well, Macca's boys.
Probably more pleasurable company than the Milton Keynes Lightning have been this weekend.
Yeah, we won't mention MK at the moment. I can see Mr. Jack Macca's walking down the way.
Well, if he does,
I like to call it the way now. I think it's the way.
The way over here.
The way over here.
We zoom in on the crowd. There we are. Can we show the way? Can we do that?
That's the way, and you can see Jack Macca's on
there. He is. It's all good.
There you go. There's the way.
Crowd's coming in.
There you go.
Warm-up's underway.
Motion shots. I like it. Right. I'm going to pass my headset over to...
Oh, do you want to take a chat? Or
no, you go. Go on.
You let me do it. You want to do it? You can do it.
You go.
All right, okay.
I'll pass my headset over to Mr. Jack himself, and he can tell you through a little bit more about Swindon.
About Swindon?
Sorry about that.
What else is there to say about Swindon apart from they're very, very good?
Well, we have been in the playoffs, yeah. The last 5 games we have probably been at our best, and yeah, I don't know if... I think we'll still want to win tonight. That's why we played our full team, and we got to protect Tyler in goal as well tonight.
Yeah, not bad to get the opportunity. Because I think it's always good to have game play, especially in the netball. You never know what could happen at any point, certainly next week. So get some game time. As I say, unfortunately, well, I'd say probably a good thing for the Raiders. I had a stat with Mar, and I sort of calculated save percentages throughout the season. He started all 6 games against the Raiders, and my stat that I've worked out is combined average save, or whatever, combined save percentage across all 6 of those games against the Raiders is 93.73%. So
that's very strong, yeah.
and he's been absolutely, well, I mean, the Raiders have struggled to score against the Wildcats, and that's been a big part of, because you see the Raiders, they have become a high-scoring team, certainly in the playoffs. That's the reason why they compete against Milton Keynes. They can score the goals as well.
Yeah.
Key part, certainly last night, keeping the Raiders to this too.
Yeah, I think it's all good Mar making the saves, but it's the defence in front of him which has really stepped up this season. Obviously, that comes from Wells. If we talk about so much this season, but he has revolutionised our defence. Obviously, first time we've had an import D-man for over 10 years, and he's been absolutely brilliant. And then it allows the likes of Bebris and Plews to get a bit less ice time, means they're more fresh for shifts, and Wells can just do what Wells does best, which is shut down those top guys.
Yeah, it's not a bad thing to have a bit of depth in there, is there? And we know the Raiders have had a few injury troubles. I mean, they've got mostly their strength. They're backed up by some of the Buccaneers who I'd like to think we'll get some ice time tonight, or a decent amount, get some playoff experience.
I think we'll put out our younger lads a bit more tonight as well. Obviously, rotate it a bit more, because it is a dead rubber game, but I think you still need that competitive edge going into playoffs, into that final four. So I think that's why he's playing the full team tonight.
I think it's difficult to say any game's not going to be competitive, even if it's the end of the season when there was quite a lot of games that you could have said was dead rubbers. Teams wanted to win, and maybe that's why we ended up with some crazy scorelines in that point as well. So, yeah, well, we've put a graphic for one of us. We'll come to you, we'll put you on the spot here. We've picked out a couple of guys to keep an eye on tonight. Do you have anything we should
one
to watch sort of thing? Yeah, we've sort of done our one with.
Well, the playoff one to watch we mentioned on our podcast has been Reed Morrison. He seems like he's stepped up another level. He's kind of got used to the league. For some imports, it does take a bit of time to get used to this goal-scoring league, because sometimes they lay back a bit, but in this league you can just go for goals, you know what I mean? And that's shown in this playoffs. He's got 9 he scored last night as well. So he's been brilliant. And for Swindon, I mean, on the eye, Wells, for me, just watching him defence, he's just a level above everyone else. But if I had to pick an underrated one, Vanya Antonov, I think the way he works so hard, he's on that third line, he's linked up with Reed Sayers really well, he's been a great addition, and you watch him tonight, I bet you I'm going to mention it 3-4 times throughout the game. He will hound for that puck, he will keep chasing and chasing and chasing, stick lifting.
He's somebody that's very known to the Raiders, like his time with the Bees, and when that was a very close rivalry, very closely matched when the two teams were, he was always one that... Especially when he was on a sort of a part-time in two-way and with Streatham, it was sort of like whenever he was on the team sheet, you knew that it was going to be a tough ask.
Another guy to try to stop.
I'll be honest, I don't think there was many times he turned up and didn't walk away with the man of the match. So
that's the thing. It's just more depth to our team, and I think that's been so important in playoffs. You can't rely on your top six. You need that depth to give them a rest. So when they're going out for them big shifts, they're fully ready to go for it. So I think that's been a big key to our playoff success so far.
Well, I think we talked about it in one of the games where you joined me on earlier in the season. That Swindon, one thing I do have to respect is the fact there's not much player turnover. They tend to keep a fairly consistent squad. They don't make many changes, don't make many additions, but when they do bring somebody in, it's a big impact. And you talk about Glenn Billing as well has had a massive impact.
Yeah, it's a tight group. Two of them, Jones and Mar, have got 2 more years and they got a testimonial, and they've signed 2-year deals. So I think it just speaks levels. The team love playing in Swindon, and when Aaron does bring someone in, like you said, it's got to be the right guy who's going to fit in the dressing room. I think that's the main thing, and that's the same with a lot of teams, but I think that's what Aaron looks out for, as well as obviously being a quality player as well.
So we talk about the perfect record in the playoffs so far, but we're talking about Wildcats as well. They've had a good run in the run-in, let's just say. Last 7 games of the regular season unbeaten. There was only 1 overtime loss in there, I believe. I saw something here in January with the thing. I thought that they were turning the tide and they were going to go on a good run. I thought they'd be able to compete. I think, and they were there pretty much. I think it was just 1 or 2 weekends in the was it February or some point that just changed that?
So we had a slip up against the Bees, and they beat us in overtime, and then we lost in penalty shots to Hull. And then we had the big double-header against Milton Keynes. We did win on the Saturday, but they got a point from the overtime, even though we won in overtime. And they beat us quite comfortably on the Sunday. And then we were playing catch-up, and Leeds and MK, fair play to them. At the end of the season, they would not lose.
Well, I think that's it as well. When you said about in January, it was still a point in the first half of the season. Milton Keynes and Leeds were both slipping up. They were still losing. They were losing games, but they both sort of reached the expected standards as well. So I think, it's not just obviously a couple of points there, but it's just been very, very difficult with those two teams.
I think we got to a point where we knew we were quite a few behind the top two, and we were just all preparation for playoffs. And fair play to Aaron and the lads, they've dug in, and so far it's paid off. Like you can tell we've prepared for that playoff hockey. Obviously 5 out of 5. You just don't know with Coventry though, it's 2-game shootout.
And the thing is, I wouldn't say, no matter what happens with Peterborough or Hull, I wouldn't say you haven't had that surprise package this year, have you? It's sort of the two teams probably you would have expected out of this group. Leeds were expected, and I suppose it was a fairly close call. Probably Hull had the position, didn't they, in the league?
They were fourth,
probably, and they are probably
might be the top 4 to going through tonight.
You would look at the victory. I mean, the fact that they've got to go and probably win against Leeds is going to be a tough task.
So Hull have got to beat Telford first of all. They've got to beat Telford, and then if Leeds beat Peterborough, it means that Hull are through and we play Hull. If Peterborough win and Hull win, Peterborough will go through on goal difference, I believe.
Bruce joins us again. All right. So very quickly to wrap up our pre-game, we'll head over get for the mainstream momentarily. Just on that, because it will be whoever gets through out of that will be this Wildcats opponents next week. The bonus, I guess, of topping the group, that you don't have to take the Leeds Knights on the Saturday.
Yes, and we get the home advantage as well. You get the last change, you get the home bench, then you get to pick your dressing room. It's those little things which do matter as well. So that is the benefit of finishing top of the group. If I'm guessing you're going to ask me who would I prefer, Hull or Peterborough.
Well, I was thinking about it, but if you have an answer for it.
I think both of them would be very tough, but then also I do think the way we're playing, I do think we can beat anyone on our day. If I had to pick one, we've matched up better against Peterborough. I think both teams have got their systems, both teams have got their 4 lines. We've matched up against them well. I just think you just don't know with Hull how they're going to come out. You could smash them, they might play their tricks and you fall into their trap, and we fell into it this season a couple times. So it's tough though, it's tough. I think it doesn't matter who you play, you've got to beat everyone to win it, so yeah.
Right, well, the warm-ups have concluded. The players are leaving the ice. You can see we're just under 19 minutes to go until a face-off. We're going to wrap things up on YouTube, our free pre-game show. A reminder, in the description, we're not showing the game on here. You'll have to head over to Ticket Co, get your ticket for that. We will be live in just a few minutes' time. So head over there on behalf of us on YouTube. Who knows, we might do this again next season. Carry it on. We'll see you in a few minutes.